Welcome to Storytime. Three figures sat in a room, huddled around a table. Between the three of them, they were in nearly complete control of Johto and Kanto. They'd been working together for over a year, and the partnership had paid dividends. The first figure was Archer. A former administrator of Team Rocket, he had gathered many of those displaced when Giovanni disbanded the team, and was attempting to bring Team Rocket back to power. The second and third were leaders of the Helix and Dome religions. Nearly everyone in both countries belonged to one of the two churches, and as Red's absence had left the hole that corruption filled, they found that by allying they held sway over the entire populace. Though being at the head of the Church of the Helix came with much power, the random nature of their dogma was ill-suited to controlling people. It was for this reason that the help of the Church of the Dome was enlisted. By seeding small amounts of order into their teachings, they were able to maintain the illusion of chaos while still guiding the people in the way that they wanted to. They were meeting today because there was a disturbance in the perfect machine that they had built. A young boy from New Barktown was making his way through the Johto gyms. This was a common occurrence, of course, but already his team was being talked about, especially his Totodile. Rumor had it that he was seeking to become the new champion to fill the hole that Red had left. It shouldn't have been anything to worry about, he was only a child after all, but his Totodile was proving quite formidable. They had all worked much too hard creating their new order to let anyone interfere. Leaving Goldenrod City, AJ came across the Pokemon daycare. The kindly old man that ran it gave him an egg to hold, seeing how well he had taken care of Prince Omelette. Next, it was off to Route 35, a bright, sunlit path. It was a gorgeous day, and the route was full of people enjoying the calm weather. There were, of course, plenty of other trainers, and many of them challenged AJ. Fresh off his victory against Whitney, AJ was on Cloud 9, and so were his Pokemon. Their teamwork was impeccable, and they all fought their hardest. Laser and the Admiral in particular drew quite a bit of attention, as the other picnickers gathered to watch the battles. The two made a fantastic team. The Admiral was a tactical genius, and Laser's brute strength was unstoppable. The battles continued all through the day. No one caught up in the seriousness of winning, just enjoying the battles and the time spent with their Pokemon. As the battlers were taking a break, they were approached by a small traveling circus troupe. A fire breather and a juggler were the main acts, delighting everyone with their tricks. As it happened, they were Pokemon trainers as well, and asked if anyone wanted to battle. Everyone encouraged AJ to try his luck, so he agreed to battle Juggler Irwin. The juggler used a team of Voltorbs, and though Laser Gator held his own, he had been worn down by a full day of battling and the electric-type attacks did him in. The Admiral was AJ's final Pokemon. He put up a brilliant fight, raging on until the bitter end, but finally, fatigue got to him and he was unable to continue. As AJ went to call him back into his Pokeball, he didn't notice Irwin throwing one of the daggers he'd been juggling straight at his heart. The Admiral's keen eyes caught it, however, and using his last ounce of strength, he dove in front of it. As AJ rushed to his Pokemon, the circus troupe quickly fled, the crowd chasing after them. AJ and Laser Gator knelt by their comrade. He smiled at the two of them, looking to Laser and telling him never to stop fighting, to always keep improving. He knew that Laser could lead the team to victory, to make AJ the champion. With his final breath, he asked his friend to protect his trainer, to make sure no harm would come to him. The crowd was silent as AJ's eyes welled over with tears. The Admiral had been such a rock for their journey. The idea of going on without him was almost too much to bear. The men who had attacked AJ had managed to escape. It had to have been a random attack, he thought, but even so, he didn't sleep that night. Eventually, however, he had to set off again. Laser was nervous to battle again, his Mentor gone. However, he still had a team to lead, and it was time for him to step up. After their next battle, Laser Gator finally allowed himself to evolve into Croconaw. On Route 36, AJ came across a strange-looking tree. There was no way past it, so AJ did the only thing that made sense, watering it. As soon as the water hit it, it began to shake violently. Turns out it wasn't a rare tree at all, but a Sudowoodo. AJ knew it was a rare Pokemon, so he had to catch it. Unfortunately, both he and Laser Gator underestimated how powerful he'd become, and he blew Sudowoodo away by accident. As he came to Ecruteak City, the egg the daycare man had given him hatched into a Smoochum. It helped lift everyone's spirits after the tragedy they'd suffered. AJ made his way to the gym, but Morty was out so he would have to come back later. Needing to kill time, he went to the National Park, a peaceful place where there were often Pokemon catching contests. He caught two Hootoots and a Drowsy before making his way back to Goldenrod. It was there that he met Bill, the Pokemon researcher. He was visiting his family, and like Professor Oak, he recognized the same spirit he'd seen in Red. He offered AJ an Eevee, and AJ took it with a smile, promising to take good care of it. Back in Ecruteak, AJ decided to explore the burned tower. Formerly much like the Bell Tower, it had gone up in flames 150 years ago. The inside was swarming with poison Pokemon, so AJ caught a Weezing, naming it Wee. His Pokegear rang again, and AJ was surprised to find Juggler Irwin on the end of the line. He taunted AJ, telling him that if he didn't want to lose any more Pokemon, he would give up and go home. Seething, AJ angrily hung up. Though the idea of losing anyone else was too much to bear, he knew that the Admiral would never forgive him if he gave up. Delving deeper into the tower, AJ encountered Silver. He had heard there was a rare Pokemon that roosted here, but he hadn't found anything. He challenged AJ once more. He was surprised at how strong Laser Gator had grown, but he had been training hard as well. His Haunter took out several of AJ's Pokemon before coming up against Laser. He managed to beat the ghost, but not before he was cursed. Next up was Silver's Bayleaf. and in his cursed state, Laser was unable to overcome the type advantage and fainted. Eevee was AJ's final Pokemon, but untrained as it had no chance. AJ had lost. AJ ran from the tower, Silver's laughter echoing the entire way out. He told AJ to come back if he wanted a rematch. He had assumed AJ was upset, but in fact he was actually excited. He was happy that his rival was getting stronger, that his challenges were becoming greater. It was inspiring him to improve even more. He went to the dance theater, fighting the Kimono Girls later strengthened his team. Oxy finally evolved into a Metapod, and Laser Gator unlocked his final form, Feral Gator. Having also learned the move Surf, AJ felt like the team was ready for Silver. He went back to the burned tower, catching Eradicate. Silver was waiting for him and was more than eager to hand down another beating. The Eradicate proved strong enough to defeat Silver's Zubat, and Laser used his newly found power to seal AJ's victory. Silver couldn't believe the two had improved so much in such a short time. Cursing the tower for not containing any rare Pokemon, he left. AJ continued on into the basement, where he was shocked to find the 3 legendary dogs, Entei, Raikou, and Suicune. Surprised at how bad Silver seemed to be at looking for Pokemon, AJ slowly approached them, but the dogs all ran away. Catching a Zubat on the way out, AJ went to see if the leader was back at the Aquatique Gym. Meanwhile, back in the meeting room, the 3 shadowy figures were keeping tabs on AJ's journey. Their assassination attempts had failed, but more importantly, they'd drawn a little too much attention to themselves. AJ's Pokemon are much too strong and much too loyal. They couldn't be so direct. Instead, it was suggested, perhaps they could get the people to do their job for them. The Aquatique Gym turned out to be open. Morty lay at the end of an invisible path suspended over a dark pit. AJ spent hours falling into the darkness, trying fruitlessly to find a way through. Every time he thought he was making progress, he walked off onto nothing once more. By the time he finally made it to Morty, he only had 3 Pokemon left. Once again, Laser fell to a Haunter, Prince Alma stepping in. Though he was cursed, he managed to burn the Haunter in revenge. Eevee fought hard against Gengar, but it was no use. AJ lost. After retreating to the mountains for another training session, AJ returned, navigating the maze slightly quicker this time. Oxy and Weezes led the assault, and Laser Gator finished the team off. Impressed, Morty awarded AJ the Fog Badge. The next stop was Olivine City, and AJ came to a lighthouse. At the top he found the gym leader Jasmine. She was worried as the Ampharos that normally powered the lighthouse is sick. She asked AJ if he could journey to Cyanwood Island to get some medicine, and he happily agreed. When he got into Olivine City, however, he found something he wasn't expecting, an angry mob. Dome and Helix worshippers alike were protesting AJ's run for champion, as well as Laser Gator. They were saying that Laser Gator was a false prophet, and that AJ planned to overthrow the churches for his own gain. AJ was horrified as the people of Olivine glared at him. Their anger seemed so real, so passionate. What was going on? Thanks for watching Storytime. If you'd like to see more, you can subscribe, or you can follow me on Twitter or Tumblr to get updates when new videos come out. See you soon!